All right, everyone, welcome. Welcome to Care Club Intensive. We're going to learn how to rock our businesses with care packages. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so excited you decided to join us this evening. I know, or even watch the recording sometime in the future. I know lives are very, very busy, and it can be challenging to carve out the time, and yet this is going to be something amazing that will help change your business. So my name is Erdman-Luntz. I am a Young Living Gold leader, and I am part of your team, and I'm here to share this with you because this is something that I have used quite successfully to support my team, and I've been playing with them for the last 6 months, and I've done several different types, and I'm going to share with you what I did. So let me just share with you tonight what we're going to do. This won't be really long. I want to share, first of all, why do care clubs? What's the point? What's the purpose? Is it something that you need to do? You know, maybe, maybe not. But I want to share it with those of you who might be interested so you can figure out what it is that your team might need to do, what you might need to do for your team, I should. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to actually talk about specifics, what to include in your packages. So what is good information to include in everything that you send, and how do you choose what to include? And finally, we're going to talk about how to follow up. Y'all, have you ever heard Pam say, the fortune is in the follow-up? It is true for anything you do. This is not just for prospecting. The fortune's in the follow-up in everything that we do. Now, I have to say, I loved this graphic. I put this one in because I always joke that my care packages are Christmas. It's like, who doesn't love a present? And it's Christmas all year round. And that's the intention I put behind my care packages, the love I put into them. So this is Christmas all year round. Okay, so let's talk about why send care packages. Well, we all have filters, right? I mean, everyone has filters, and this helps break through those. So those filters are the things that keep you from answering the phone when someone calls you, or from responding to texts or emails. I know we've all experienced that frustration when someone doesn't call you back when you call them, or text you back when you text them, and they could already be in your downline. They could even be a good friend that used to call you, but now that you're doing the business, they've stopped calling you. Those are filters, and they are part of our brain structure. I'm not going to go into it, but they really do filter out things that aren't part of our belief system. So when we send a sample, it helps break through the people's yeah buts. Yeah, but I don't think I can afford it. Yeah, but I don't think I'd like it. Yeah, but I don't think essential oils are for me. It helps break through those. I mean, who doesn't love a present? Sometimes this is just the nudge that we need. People are also more likely to read what you mail them. So here's what I've begun doing. I actually send educational pieces through the mail as well. This isn't just about samples so people can try something. I send information about essential rewards, information about the monthly promos, information about a particular product. I send it in the mail, and I'm finding people are much more likely to open what is mailed to them. I saw this really funny meme, and I looked forever for it for this webinar, and I could not find it. And it was really funny. It was like 1980s. You get this whole bunch of mail that nobody reads, and the person then goes to their computer and says, "Woohoo! I got an email!" And they open it up and read it. And then in 2010s, it had, you know, this tiny little pile of mail, or actually it was, they looked inside of their computer and they're like, oh my God, 100 emails. I don't even want to look at these. And then they get this tiny pile of mail and they're thrilled because they got a letter in the mail. And that's so true. Finally, sending care packages allows you to send a gift. So here's the thing. When you receive a gift, people are more likely to feel like, you know, I don't want this to sound manipulative, but that they owe you. And really, it's just that they want to do something for you when you've done something for them. So they might finish your survey, which we'll talk about in a little bit. They might pick up the phone to chat with you when you call. They may respond to an email. They're much more likely to be amenable to talking to you. So what is the purpose of your care package? Okay, now remember, your purpose is always, always, always to drive OGV. So to get someone signed up, expose your members to new products, get people on ER, that's the underlying purpose always. But more specifically, we want to look at other superficial reasons, if you will, because it'll help you decide what to send. It could be to court or date your prospects. So if you've got prospects you're working on, send them samples that might be of interest to them, something that might pique their interest, especially if they see essential oils or Young Living as just being essential oils and nothing else. And they're not interested in essential oils. They might want the Thieves laundry detergent or the Thieves cleaner, or they might be crazy in love with Ningxia Red, like so many of us are. So send them a sample. You can also use it to get the energy up during the first 90 days. Okay, y'all, this isn't going to be a webinar about the first 90 days, but just know the first 100 days of anything, right? The first 100 days of a presidency, of school, the most absorption, the most action, the most excitement occurs during those first 90 days. So you want to nab their attention early. So these are for enrollees, people who have just enrolled. I have started doing this a couple of months ago, and it has been incredibly successful. I have a much higher ER enrollment rate as a result of doing this, and I will show you what I send. Another reason to do it is to introduce team members to products outside the starter kit. So people in your downline, especially people who aren't on ER, or perhaps people who are on ER as an customer appreciation gift. And this is especially items that will help enhance the Young Living lifestyle, which we're going to talk about in a moment. Also, I use them to introduce myself to abandoned legs. So those of you who are beginner builders, you probably don't have this issue yet, but those of you who have been building for a while, you have experienced where people build a little bit and then they leave and they decide they don't want to build anymore. And this helps you to introduce yourself to those legs, because maybe they don't know who you are and you want to be able to give them care calls and you want to be able to support them and teach them about ER. Teach them about the promos for the month, but they don't know who you are, so they're not going to pick up the phone. I'm going to share with you exactly what I send to those abandoned legs. I also send this information to people who have been signed up organically by somebody and that person isn't building, so they're not giving any extra continuing education support. I will send it to those people as well. I also like to use it to re-excite people who are about to go inactive, or better yet, people who haven't ordered in more than 6 months. So somewhere between that 6 to 12 month period if they haven't ordered. Statistics show if people haven't ordered in 6 months, they have a greater chance they're probably going to go inactive. So that's the time. If you can catch them 6 to 8 months, it's a great time to recapture their attention before they go all the way to 12 and you're in a panic to get them to place their 50 PV order so they don't go inactive. It's a great time to get in there, send them something that they might like to try, and it might re-excite them. You know, they just found that they got the PSK, or the Premium Starter Kit, nothing else, and they haven't gone beyond that, and they probably haven't even used their PSK oils to the fullest. Finally, I use care packages to welcome orphans to your team. Now, once you get to a certain rank, Young Living will begin adding people who sign up randomly on the website onto your team. So when people go to youngliving.com and they just sign up, they don't have anyone who refers them, so they don't have a sponsor. Young Living actually gifts you with these people. They are called orphans. Now, here's the thing with orphans. They are notorious for not responding to you, because really, how weird is it when you order something off a website on the internet and someone from that organization calls and says, "Hey, you're on my community. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here." It's like if someone calls you from Amazon and says, "Hey, I'm your neighbor. You order from Amazon. I'm just wondering if you like your product." It's a little weird. So I like to send them a little package that just says, "Hey, Young Living's a little different. We are a very community-oriented company, and you are on my team. I happen to live around the corner," because it's usually people in your area. and I'm excited to welcome you. Here's some information for you and a sample of something. Okay, so now let's talk about what is the purpose of your care package. So why are you sending it? Well, I like to send it for special holidays too. So all of those reasons, that we've already talked about, welcoming orphans, re-exciting people, et cetera, et cetera. But also, what about special holidays? Someone has a baby on your team. I actually send out now a prenatal welcome. Someone gets pregnant, I send them to get them thinking. It's like, oh, that's right, I can use these with my baby, and carefully, of course. But I like to send them maybe a little bit of Gentle Baby, maybe some Kid Sense products. Wedding honeymoon, how much fun is it to send a gift with sensation in it? Birthdays, holidays. I do send customer appreciation samples at the holidays to my ER people. All right, and then the fortunes in the follow-up. And I know, Pam, that comes from a lot of network marketers, but every time I hear it, it's your voice in my head. So I quoted you here, my dear. So let's talk about follow-up. I do a 3-step follow-up. So once I've mailed the package, and what I do, by the way, in case you're doing a lot of these, and I don't recommend any more than 10 to start, but only mail as many as calls that you can do in one day. Okay, stick with me here. This was Pam's idea, and it was brilliant for me. She, excuse me, she said, don't send 40 in a day because you have to do 40 phone calls in a very short period of time. I send in batches of 10, and then 3 days later, I make a call to follow up 3 or 4 days. So I want to make sure they receive their package and let them know to watch for an email from me, okay? And I'll get to the email in a moment. So the call is usually voicemail, right? It's 8 out of 10 times is voicemail. The other 2 times people pick up and they'll ask me, they'll thank me for it, and yes, they received it, and I'll say, do you have any questions? Let me tell you a little bit about the products I sent you. Are there any other products you're interested in? I know you signed up for a reason. How are your goals going? I mean, just to have a conversation. I form them right then, especially if they're people I don't know very well. And then I still say, hey, I'm going to be sending you an email. Would you watch for that? And they are much more likely to open the email if I set them up for that. Step 2, I send the email. So I send the email immediately after I call them. And in fact, what I've done is I have a bunch of drafts. I just copy and paste the draft for this Care Club package. Now, if you have Marketing Sense, if you send it from Marketing Sense, you can see if it is opened. That is very handy. So Marketing Sense, if you don't have it already, I highly recommend this tool. Now, in the email, I add any links I want to send to them. So that way they can just simply click on the link. Now, that link might be to a particular video I did on YouTube that describes the products that I gave them. It might be to something on Facebook I want to share with them. It might be to, and usually these are links I referred to in the letter I sent them. Just, hey, want to make sure that you're aware that we do this on Facebook. We have this event, we have that event, whatever. But then in the email, it makes it easier for them to click. It's much harder. We are much less likely to type in a URL from a letter. But now they've heard it. This is the 3rd time when they get the email. They read about it in the letter. They heard about it from me on my voicemail or when I called them. And finally, the link is right here in the email. Now, the most important thing that I do is I always create some sort of action step from this email, and that's step 3. Now, it could be, I usually do a survey, okay? And I'm going to teach you how to do a survey. It's going to be one of the follow-ups to this. I've actually created a survey y'all can copy and edit for yourself to make it super simple. But something that Christy did, and I'm going to share with you her video because it was brilliant. I've never done this. She follows up with a video, so the link is in the email. Her video is on YouTube, so the link takes them to YouTube. and it explains the products. And she also said, "This is to thank you for being with me. I really am grateful you're part of my team. You know, I want to support you and help you achieve all of your wellness goals. That's what I'm here for." And I think that is brilliant. They can see you, they can hear you, especially for people who don't necessarily know you. Okay, in the survey, you want to think about what you want to put in the survey. And this is really important because I put a lot of thought into what is the information I want to know, and really the bare minimum, because you don't want people spending 4 hours filling out your survey. It's got to be click, 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 done, send. I'm in. I mean, my patience for surveys, I'm sure you all have similar patience levels, is pretty minimal. But I want to put what kind of continuing education do they want? So what workshops are they interested in? What product lines they might like to learn about? What systems of the body? Whatever it is you're interested in sharing. And I know someone who did this who simply shared EP's teleclasses. And then her follow-up was simply sending them a link to the teleclass EP had already done on that topic. Brilliant. So simple. You might want to ask them best time to schedule a class. What works for you? You know, I personally usually do things on Saturdays or Mondays and Thursday nights. Those are the times that are open for my family. But hey, I'm open to other times if there are other times that work for someone, in particular if I've been trying to get them to a class. And then ask them if there are any products they might want to sample, because here's the thing. You might be sending more care packages, and you want to know what they want to try. And if they come to a class, that might be something you can have as a freebie for them to take home with them. Finally, I always like to ask how to contact them. In today's day and age, everyone has a preference. Y'all, email for me is a nightmare. I have so many emails and they get lost. If you text me, I respond quickly. Facebook message, not so much either. I got to find out how people want to be contacted so that I can honor what they see, if you will. And then I get people who actually still want to be called, which is really, really nice. And it's nice to be able to respond. It's respectful to be able to respond and contact them in a way that they want to be contacted. Okay. You guys, I've been booking along. I don't see any questions, though. Is everyone doing okay? If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in there. Okay, so let's talk about what to include in a care package. Now, you want to be thoughtful and strategic here. It's not just whatever it is that you have. So the first thing I recommend are 30-day consumables. Now, what are 30-day consumables? They are the products that people will use up in 30 days. Okay, the lifestyle products, the toothpaste, the dental floss, Ningxia Red, supplements, shampoo, shower gel, deodorant, well, maybe not deodorant, that lasts a really long time. You can't really give a small supply of those. We want to get people introduced to these products because this is the base of your foundational income. Okay? The foundation of your residual income. So you'll see I say non-oil products. Don't send people oils. They don't need more oils unless they've requested. They're like, hey, I'd really like to try such and such. It's a really expensive oil. Send them a couple of drops in a little 1 ml bottle. That's fine. Or let them smell yours if they are in town and near you. But really we want to introduce people to the 30-day consumables. That is the point here. We also want to include things that can be appreciated with a single dose. Okay, think through this, okay? You want to make sure that either they will feel the effects after 1 dose, so I do not send master formula because people won't feel it after 1 dose. They don't need to see it and hold it and smell it to want to buy it. They want to know the effects are going to be great. Or perhaps it's something they'd like to taste before buying. So Pure Protein Complete. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, 90% of the people who sample that buy it because it is so amazing as a protein smoothie. It's just, if you've ever drunk protein smoothies, you know how gross they are and filled with junk. These are amazing. What else might you need to taste? Nitro. Nitro and Ningxia Red, man, that's both. I need to taste it, and you're going to feel the effects after one dose. That's a really potent thing to send. Other effects might be ImmuPro, Sleep Essence, Cool Azul Pain Cream, dishwashing detergent. That one, I had someone just go crazy over using dishwashing detergent once because their glasses were totally clean and there was no residue. When she put water in her glass, there was no bubbles. She was thrilled and hooked. Okay. Finally, you might want to include person-specific samples. Do they have a dog? Add the dog chews. So if they have particular needs that might be very specific to them, add that. I actually keep the dog chews little samples in little baggies, and whenever I do make and takes, whoever has a dog gets to take one home. Okay, so what not to include, okay? And we've already kind of talked about this, but first thing is items that can't be appreciated with one dose. Again, master formula, you need more than one dose. Multigreens, you need more than one dose. B vitamins, yeah, you're not going to feel it with one dose. So it's not helpful to send a sample. The other thing is don't send a large enough supply that it lasts so long before it needs to be replenished. So if you send a huge sample of Thieves Cleaner, a single capful fills a 20-ounce spray bottle. That's going to last a really long time. I'll show you what I do with Thieves Cleaner because that's a big one, but I just send a tiny bottle with a tiny bit of Thieves Cleaner that they can add water to. It's going to last just a tiny bit, and then they've got this cute little bottle to use in their kitchen or even to travel with it because it's under 4 ounces. Okay, finally, I have one more tip I want to share before we move into, I think we'll be moving into seeing all of these things, is tax tip. Okay, y'all, I see this on the page all the time, and people say, oh, I just used my Essential Rewards points to buy samples. I'm so excited to give them away. Y'all, samples are a tax deduction. So when you are buying things that are samples, it's a tax deduction. Use your ER order. Use your ER points to purchase things that are for personal use. I've actually gotten to the point where my ER order is about 80 to 90%, depending on the month, tax deductible because it's all business oriented. It's for make and takes, it's for samples, it's for giveaways, it's for whatever. And then I use my ER points, which add up really quickly when you're at 20%, and pretty soon I'll be at 25%. I can order every other month. I can order a nice supply of stuff, and all I pay is shipping. So don't use your Essential Rewards points for your samples. Okay, so what else to include? I like to include a handwritten message. Now, if I have a long letter that I want to include, I'll show it to you in a moment, and I can share the sample. I'm happy to share my letter with y'all. I then do a typed letter that I can print because that's too much to write, but I always write a PS at the bottom, and I always personalize it. So I look them up. I see if you look in your back office, there is so much information you can get on that person. You can see when they enrolled. You can see if they're on ER. You can see when the last time was they ordered. If they haven't ordered in 12 months, there needs to be a PS about going inactive and how to stay active. It's really, really nice to write something personal to people. Educational materials. If you haven't been out on KRE Publishing, you need to go out there. They've got awesome postcards, y'all, all compliant, really good, and they fit in a 5x7 envelope so they don't have to be folded. This is the educational material I send to people, and the nice thing about these postcards is they can be taped on a fridge. They're great references. PDFs from the back office. Have you explored that back office? Holy cow. Young Living has provided us with amazing information that can just be printed and sent. Make it two-sided. Many of them are 2 pages. Make a single page two-sided. Stick it in there. A handmade info sheet. So this is what I do when I do my samples for people, and I'm going to share with you what I do. I just pull a photo off of the Flickr site. Oh, I gotta write that down. I'm gonna share that link with y'all. So Young Living has a site that you can use. They've got all the photos of the products that they use, all the promotional photos of the products are on their Flickr site, and you can just download them and use them. So I plop them into this form I just do a Word doc, super easy, and I write the description from Young Living about that product, and then I also write a note from me on how I use it to make it personal. And I'll share that with you. I've got a PDF for you so you guys can see what that looks like. I also like to create postcards from Oil Revolution Graphics. If you aren't part of oilrevolutiondesigns.com, you're definitely going to want to go check it out. All compliant, really fun stuff. I'll share with you one thing that I did, and I made a postcard out of it that I've been sending out this summer. Postcards with monthly promos. Young Living provides postcard size graphics that you can simply download, go to 123print, upload there, print, you're done. Really inexpensive. I think it's like 25 bucks for 100. Really inexpensive. All right. Now, I do 3 main themes, types of care clubs. The first one is welcome packages. Okay, y'all, I actually do 3 months of welcome packages to my newbies. I really want to get them started out strong, and it has made a pretty significant difference. I use Bloom. Bloom is actually a Facebook page. It's a Young Living team that provides all of their information for free. It's in their files section. I will show it to you in a moment. Okay. Okay. Laura, I just saw your questions. I'll get to them in 1 second. I do cards with educational postcards. So I just get a 5x7 envelope, and I'm going to show you I'm going to go to webcam in a second and show you all of these. And so these are just envelopes with a letter and information, no samples, just educational information. And I also do seasonal samples. So those are the 3 main things I do, and I'm going to show you examples of all of those in a little bit. Okay, Laura asked, do you send the monthly promos every month to all your personally enrolled? No, I do not. I do email every month, but whenever I send the samples, and I'm going to show them to you, I try and send the samples always at the beginning of a month. I mean, be strategic here, y'all. Do it at the beginning of the month with products they might want to include in their order, and then include the seasonal postcards. Now, the seasonal postcards aren't, or the promo postcards, sorry, they're not released until the 1st or 2nd of the month. So what I do is I get my sample kit all ready to go at the end of the previous month, and then as soon as they are printed, and I get them in my hot little hands, I stick them in, seal them, and send them out. What do I do for addresses, handwritten or print labels? Is there a way to print labels from the VO? There is. I have not done it. I handwrite, and I know it's a really big pain, but I am so much more likely to open up an envelope with a handwritten address that I do take that extra mile. Now, I will say I've hired my children to help me with this, and I'll show you on some of them. My son has done the handwriting, and that's kind of cute. So for those of you with kids, it's a great way to get them involved in the business, and I pay $5 an hour, so it's a pretty good deal for me, and it's a pretty good deal for them. Okay, so let's start by looking at the Bloom stuff. This is the Bloom's, excuse me, Facebook page. It's an open Facebook page. This is for anybody. Yeah, there is so much information there, and as Christy said, wow, you could really go down the rabbit hole here, and it's very, very true. So here's the thing. You take a deep breath, and you do it sometime over a glass of wine or a cup of tea, and you go slowly, just take your time through it and decide what you want to do. I don't recommend doing everything, but I will say they have done a lovely job. You can see here of organizing it. See month 1, month 1, month 1, month 1, and then they've got a whole section of month 2 and 3. What they have done is outlined 3 months of care packages, and it includes all what the containers are that you want to use, It includes postcards with great information, coupons you can enclose if you'd like. They've already created the Avery labels you can print. You can see right here the roller balls. It's label 8160 on Avery. They've made it so easy. And some of the best stuff I've seen is like ingesting Vitality essential oils. They have how to do that. They've got dilution ratios, really great educational materials to get people started well. I love this, but again, it can be really overwhelming. Excuse me. I don't recommend everything, but I also don't know what your team would want, so I can't even tell you what I would recommend. I would just say, like I said, open up an evening and just sit on your deck and just go through it and look at everything that's out there. It's pretty cool, the stuff they have, and I'll actually show you what I've done with it in a moment. All right. This is what it looks like, the Bloom kit. Okay, this is the initial kit. And it's not very expensive. I think all 3 months, someone calculated it's like $25 for 3 months. Now, to me, that's not very expensive, especially because it almost always leads to ER people. In my case, that's what I've discovered. That's something you have to budget for yourself. In general, I keep each of my care clubs, including shipping and packaging, to $5. So that's my goal, is to keep it to $5. So this one's a little bit more expensive than that, but you don't have to include everything. You know, I haven't put the labels in, so that's actually, I've saved money there. I think they budgeted for 3 roller balls. I only put 2 in, like this picture shows. I didn't put any V6 oil in. All I had were glass bottles, so I didn't want to put any V6 oil in because I didn't want to ship any glass. Okay. Now, you also might want to make it pretty. So you might want to add stickers, note cards, ribbons, whatever gets their attention. You know what, y'all? That is so up to you. You have to decide what is your thing. Do you want to do pretty printed labels, or do you want to handwrite them? You know, it's funny, Christy was saying, I just handwrite them. And I said, you know, I totally will just handwrite them if I have a few, but if I have a lot I'm doing, it's even easier to print them, especially because I get my daughter to do them. So, you know, decide what you want to do. But for right now, we're going to flip over to my webcam so I can show you some of these things. Hello, everyone. I wish I could make my webcam bigger. It's big on my screen, but I know it's not very big on yours. All right, well, I'll put things right up to the camera so you can see them closely. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you are the Bloom kits, since we were just talking about them. So I get these, which are padded envelopes. The link I'm going to share with you the link to, I think, everything I'm sharing here. I will tell you right now, it pays to shop around because prices vary wildly and they will change regularly too. So I definitely have my place at Amazon to go for certain things, and I go to Abundant Health for a few things, and I've also found that bulk apothecary is really good. But this is what I do. The nice thing about this one is it's really neat because they tell you, like, here is, I give people 2 roller balls. Can you see that? And then they have these really beautiful labels. I'm sorry, you can't really see them. There you go. Do you see the labels? And it's just an Avery label. I downloaded the PDF and printed. Bam, super easy. So this is a great way for someone who's not very creative to make it look really pretty. I also included a little 1 cup thing of Epsom salts, and again, they included the label. You can't see it. Sorry, my light is really bright. Just trust me, the label is really cute. Oh, there we go. You can see it. And it tells you add 10 drops of your favorite essential oil to enjoy a spa bath. Kind of cool, huh? And then it also recommends, and I'm not going to do this again, to do a photo album, and this is where they put all of their information. So there's the cover, and in here is their membership card, and that's where I put my contact information, and then they can put their membership information. And then there's tons of this is awesome info. This is getting started on your VO office. Or your virtual office. These are quick tips for the oils. These are all graphics that Young Living made. But they made them on postcard size, so you can just simply print on Avery postcards and put them in. Now, I saw somebody do something really cool, though, on the Bloom page that I love, that I will do in the future, and that is just put all the cards together, put a punch in the corner, and put one of those C-rings around it, those metal rings, O-rings, around it, and just have them keep together. But this is the thing, is everyone's going to have a place to put all of their information, and in each of the Bloom kits I send more of these postcards, so hopefully they put them into their little book. Okay, the other thing I send is the starter kit from Oil Revolution, little starter kit guide. This is so awesome, y'all. It's like, I think it's $1. It's such a great way to help people get started. All right, so that was the Bloom kit. You guys feel free to ask questions still as we go along. I'm trying to keep track of my questions. Oh, cool. Laura says if you drag on the screen, you can make me bigger. I think probably the bar between Make It Pretty and me. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Now, the next thing I wanted to share with you, these are my, I got this one back in the mail because I had the wrong address, so I'll show you. This is what I send to abandoned legs, to people who haven't responded that I want to get a response from people who signed up under somebody else, who haven't been supported, really anyone that I'm not ready to send a sample to. And I send, here's that letter I told you about. Oh, and I also add, can you see this? I gotta make it so you can see it. Happy Mail. Happy Mail stickers. Doesn't that just make you smile? I put Happy Mail stickers on everything. So we put Happy Mail stickers on these. Anything I send out, I put a Happy Mail sticker on too. All right, so I do a letter, and I do my PS at the bottom. Again, something very specific. I added cards. This is an info card with just links. So putting the Facebook page on here, anything that you might like them to know about, resources. This is because I have sent them links like this, but sometimes people need it in print. Not everyone is tech savvy, but I will add, these are the links that I will add to the follow-up email so that they can simply click. Then these are from KRE. These are just some of my KREs. Toxic chemicals, essential oils, 101. This is how the essential oils affect the body, top to bottom, compliant. On the back, it's how to use them. This one's particularly important for people who might not be supported, so they might not know about them. And hang on one second, I have to grab my other postcard. I can grab it. I actually told you about this one, so I want to make sure I included this one. So this was an Oil Revolution graphic. Okay, so it's one of their graphics that they release every month. Again, I'm not going to go into that tonight, but it is something that you might want to do as you go along, because it's only $5 a month and you get really good stuff. But it's a square graphic. So what I did is I cut the top and bottom off, and then I added summertime essentials with Young Living. Now, on the back of this, because you can make two-sided postcards, yet again, an Oil Revolution graphic, abundance is real and within reach. Just look at the numbers. So it's about the opportunity. Always a chance to share the opportunity with people. Okay, I have some more questions. Can I send, I am going to, someone just asked if I can email or Facebook all the links I've mentioned. You know what, I will post Oil Revolution designs, and Nicole, if you can think of any others that I've mentioned, I can do that. But I am going to share links to all of the containers, envelopes, etc. that we're going to be talking about. Write that down so I can remember. All right, Deborah, is there a special way these need to be mailed? Little package contains, oh, the liquid samples. Okay, yes, I looked that up. Okay, you can mail liquids as long as they're not dangerous, and these aren't, and they won't make a mess if they're broken. So you want to make sure that you put them in sealed Ziplocs if you are sharing liquids. Okay, now I will share with you one of my samples. I didn't even, my first 2 Care Club packages, when I sent samples to my downline, I didn't share any liquids. So it wasn't a problem. So I did look that up, and yes, you can. You just have to make sure that if they break, they're not going to make a mess of the mail. Okay? And they do ask you if they're liquids, and you just say yes, and they are protected. Okay, that helped, Deborah? Let me know if it didn't. Okay, so now let's look at my samples. This is the one I sent to, this was Winter's sample. Isn't this cute? I got a little organza bag. Super, super cheap, y'all. Buy organza bags. eBay. Actually, I didn't share this link. I got to remember this one. eBay, and it's wedding supplies. Wedding supplies, there's some really cute packages with wedding supplies, and they're also super cheap because so many people buy, 500 at a time. But I'll show you what I put in here. I put in 2 Super Cs. Now, not something that you're going to feel the effect of once, but often something that parents want to test out on their kids. They have older kids. These can be for older kids or themselves, right? Are they very good? I don't know. And I made labels on, can you see this? Oh well. I made labels on Avery.com. I'm going to show you how to do that, so no worries. Super easy to do. I also included ImuPro. I love ImuPro. It's like my favorite product, so I love to share that one. A cute little container of Thieves hand sanitizer, and again, this is an Avery label, this little tiny thing. This is the cutest little thing ever. It does not leak. Okay, so this is a really awesome thing to be able to give to people. And this is kind of a handy little container too. But that's plenty, right? That's like 3 or 4 tests. You only need 1 test of Thieves Hand Purifier to know you love it. And finally, this is when the frankincense, the reactivation, when people went inactive, if they reactivated that month, they got a 5 ml of frankincense. I made this Frank and Myrrh body butter. This was Laura's recipe, and I included that. So I sent this to all of my people who had gone inactive and told them about the special. And I made this little body butter for them in this cute little tin. How cute is this? I can't get it open because it's greasy, but how cute is that? And then I put it all in here. Now, this little tiny container fits in the smallest little bubble package you've ever seen in the world. And I didn't bring one of those up, so I apologize. You're not going to see it, but it's really tiny. And what I did is I got those little tiny square cards, and I just wrote a little note that says, "Thinking of you." And it fit little tiny postcards, and I printed up postcards about the information about the frankincense. And I added the monthly promo postcard into this one. Okay, another great thing to give away is Thieves Cleaner. So, and I use these bottles for it. So I just put a tiny bit of Thieves Cleaner in it, and I say add water. It's not going to last very long. It's a great container. It's actually really hard plastic, so it's a really nice container. Gives them a good taste, but it's not going to last very long. This, by the way, makes a great baby gift, too. Okay, another great giveaway, the convention product. The new products are a great thing to sample. I have given away more Cool Azul pain creams. I can hardly even describe. This is huge, right? I have these little containers. I'll share the link with you. I can't remember. I think they're 1 ml, maybe they're 3 ml. But can you see what I put in there? Not very much at all, but it's probably 3 servings. I think we filled 40 in with 1 bottle. I am not kidding. My son did this one night watching TV. He filled a bunch. I'm telling you, Young Living is a family business. You might want to hire neighborhood kids if you don't have them to take care of some of this for you. But the other thing that you can get with Young Living through your order are all of the brochures that they had. So I ordered a pack of 25 of each one. They're only $4 for 25. And I've asked people, what do you want to find out more information about? And if I can give them a sample, I do. I give them a sample along with the insert. And then I also, like for thieves, the thieves cough drops and the pain cream, I put it in a Ziploc sample and the information. So I can just give it to people. And to me, that's care packages too, right? Okay. All right. Any questions about this before I get off of the webcam? Like my cool mic? Pretty cool, isn't it? All right. Just making sure I got through everything I have here. Okay. So let's go back to my screen. Okay. So how do you know where to start? Okay, so right now I'm guessing you're feeling a little overwhelmed. It was one of the reasons I recommended yesterday in my video that you go through and you look at your team and you decide, what do they need? Where does my team need my energy? And if you're not sure, talk to your sponsor. Do a strategy meeting with them, with your mentor, and just say, what does my team need? Because they might see something you don't. You might know right away, oh my gosh, I need to enroll. I've really stalled on enrolling. I've really stalled over here. This leg is really quiet. I need to put some energy into it. And then start there. Okay, start small too. Christy said she started with, I think 75 was her first mailing. Way too many. I agree. I did 45. Way too many. Very overwhelming. Start with 10. Now, when you make them up, make up more. Okay, have extras. These are extras. I have about 20 extras of these. So, and I put them sometimes into a bloom kit if I know someone would really like to have these samples, or I use them as giveaways. I'll use them as samples to a prospect. If I don't really know what they want, I'll just give them a few relatively random things that I've already put together. Just have a big basket. It's really handy. Handy to have them on hand, if you will. And send out in batches. We already talked about that. So it's easier for the post office. Do you know how hard it is to stand there with 40 packages with people lining up behind you? They start to get a little bitter. It's better on you, easier on the post office, easier on your follow-up to send in batches. Now, I also wanted to talk a little bit about expectations. So here's the thing. What is your expectation for response? I personally have found I get a 25% response rate. And what I mean by that is people follow up with that survey. It's kind of hard to match your OGV and to know exactly what your ROI is, return on investment, meaning how much are you making versus how much did you spend. And that's something you'll definitely want to talk to with your sponsor and to put some strategy together. I just know that at Christmas I sent my first care club, and I sent a single thieves lozenge, no, 2 thieves lozenges, a package of sleek tea, and 1 bag of sleek tea, and then a little container, one of these little containers of the lavender body lotion. And I'm still hearing, I heard from someone about 3 weeks ago who said, oh, by the way, I love that package at Christmas. Thank you. I totally fell in love with these lozenges. So you can't, it's not really a direct, you can't see a direct correlation necessarily. You're just going to hear it afterwards. And I was just thrilled with all of the response I got. But I got about 25% of the people to respond to the survey. And that to me was huge because I've gotten them to start interacting. And that initial interaction is going to grow into something. So you definitely want to make sure your expectations are, you know, I really cannot stand the word realistic, but there it is. Make sure that they are realistic, so don't expect 100%. That's not going to happen. I had someone who received 3 of the balloon packages before I got them to pick up the phone when I called. That's okay. It's okay. I know that I've given them a really good start, and I know I've done what I can, and the rest is up to them. So, so just keep that in mind as you move forward. All right, y'all. Do you have any other questions? I believe I am near the end. Any more questions? Well, you know what? As we go forward, just so you know, I'm going to continue supporting you on that Facebook page, on the event page. So you've got assignments now going forward. I will be posting an action step for you. Your first action step, which I'll post tonight, but I'm going to tell you since you're still on the webinar, is you need to decide what you need to do. Okay, so take the time to look at your downline, everything that we've talked about. What is your first Care Club package? What is your population who is going to be receiving something? Is it your prospects? Do you want to do customer appreciation for your people who are on ER? Are there a bevy of people who haven't ordered in more than 6 months? Do you have a bunch of people who are tempted to step on ER with ER moving into its new percentages starting in September? Think about where your business needs the support, and then we'll give you the next assignment on Tuesday. And I'm also going to be posting a lot of resources for you this week, so you can just download them and have them for yourself. All right, y'all. Checking. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh my goodness. Janelle, it is so sweet of you to say I'm organized. I feel like the most disorganized person on the team. I am so blue through and through. You should see, I actually tried to keep this neat so you guys wouldn't see the mess that's in front of me, but it is what it is. All right, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. It has been a pleasure to share this with you. I'm so excited you're here with me tonight, and I look forward to supporting you this week as you go forward. Have a great night, everybody.